Hello and welcome to Thrones of Game, the only Game of Thrones podcast where we watch the series backwards. That's right, I am your host, BT Calloway. I have watched the entire show from the beginning, but with me is Elliot Jay O'Neill, who has never seen a single episode until tonight. Yes, we are the only two people who thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, so for the pilot episode of the podcast, we've watched the finale.
Yeah, the controversial finale.
Yeah.
Season 8, Episode 6, The Iron Throne. Man, well, this is uncharted territory for us as well, especially for you. So, hell, let's just jump right the hell in.
We're going to wing it like a pair of dragons.
Oh, yeah.
I can make references now
Wing
to
it
this
like
thing.
Drogo. Yeah. It's for everyone else but you, buddy. All right, well, to cap us off, what happened?
All right, so I'm guessing because, again, just to reinforce, I have never seen an episode of Game of Thrones, and, although I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I've probably absorbed some things through osmosis.
Yeah, you can't avoid this, the what's the word I'm looking for? The zeitgeist kind of just floating around.
Yeah, so, but as far as, people doing spoiler talks around me, I mean, that's happened constantly, but the thing is, all the things have flown over my head.
It is kind of the upside in the sense that, I can talk about Davio Naharis and all this kind of stuff, and you don't know.
Nope. So yeah, speaking of the Iron Throne, the big iconic chair got fucking blasted by a dragon. Oh my god.
Indeed it did.
I'm sure this meant a lot more to other people.
Powerfully symbolic. Questionable aim of that dragon. It seemed to know what it was doing.
Yep.
To other Game of Thrones out there, warging perhaps from the future, but we'll never know.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like this is you having a bunch of in-jokes with an audience who aren't here. And me going, yep, that's a reference.
Yeah, just every time I say that, assume I'm turning and winking.
So, yeah, first question. Why can dragons fire melt steel beams?
Depends who you ask.
And yeah, surely Jon Snow at least got a bit of singed hair from that distance.
You'd think so, but not that hair. That's Northman hair. That's tough. It's thick. It's rusty.
And part of this as well is going to be me because, the series has gone on as long as it has at this point, and the characters don't feel the need to say each other's names all the time. So lot of this...
happy to provide character names. That's fine.
I'm kind of like my nicknames anyway. Well, I gathered this was the famous Jon Snow anyway, and then I was like, I wonder if anyone's ever called him Jon Bon Snowy. Yep, it's been done. Damn it. I thought I was so clever.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if anyone's used the term Dan Vader yet for the appearance of Daenerys Targaryen in this one. Very, very Darth Vader-esque. All the black and all the strappiness.
Which one's Daenerys?
She got shanked in the heart.
Oh, I wrote her nickname as Jan Brady.
Because of all the braids.
Fucking how many braids do you want, girl?
Yeah, that is the question. Out of this entire army, who is doing her hair? Maybe it takes an army. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it takes a village to destroy other villages, or something, yeah, and just the amount of braids, no one has that much hair. I'm sorry,
Hey, it was the olden days. All they had time to do was grow and braid hair. That was 80% of living.
Yeah.
The rest was avoiding disease and shitting, I guess. I don't know.
And cleaning up.
I'm not a historian.
Yeah. And my other nicknames for Peter Dinklage's character, because again, my only context was he started out the episode sifting through rubble, so I called him Barney Rubble.
Yep. Fair.
And then he found two dead people who I'm sure were significant, so then I called him Barney Blubble. And then that scene with him and Jon Snow just talking and talking, then he was Barney Blabble.
Boom. I love that scene, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this episode gets a lot of flack, and, understandably so, but I think it's more people's reaction to the previous episode, which we won't talk about because you've not seen it.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah. Future past spoilers? I don't know.
This will be a very interesting podcast if it works.
Yeah. But there are a lot of moments that I do quite like out of this one. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you? Just as a moment you're like, I don't know what's going on, but that I like.
Well, because this episode felt like it was an hour and a half of tying a ribbon on a present, That's
there weren't literally what it is.
There weren't any really cool set pieces. It was just more them discussing the previous events, which I can only determine was a massive war where Jan Blondie was morally questionable. And they were just trying to rebuild their lives, and they're like, okay, let's give the broken kid the throne now.
Yep, I mean, you're not far off. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
It's just, I really do like the memes that are going around now. It's like, and Bran the Broken. Could it just be Bran, maybe?
Yeah.
How about Bran the Crippled? No, just Bran. Bran is fine.
Just all Bran.
All Bran all the time. Keeps you regular.
Yeah, so, like, as far as, like, a bit of entertainment, I can only guess it was somewhat satisfying to those who watch the show because just objectively for me, it was just so talky.
Which is fair. It's a lot of talking in this one. Not a lot of surprises other than the shanking of Daenerys. But yeah, I think you're right in saying that it is a bow on a series, but you're just being given bow.
Yeah.
You're not even getting bow. You're just getting that sound when you drag scissors up the bow to curl the edges. So of course you're not like, ooh, my present's nearly finished. You're like, stop it with that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other things that stood out to me, I don't know. All Bran has a really sharp Adam's apple. You could literally cut apples on that Adam's apple.
Yeah, no comment. He sure do, I guess. I never thought about it.
Yeah, sorry, because I was lost in a lot of the conversation, so I just ended up looking around and
yeah, man, no more apologizing. Just power through. This is what's happening. Fast Podcast is a good podcast.
Oh, right. So, any other questions?
Oh, hell, plenty more, man. A couple of quick moments I want to throw out too. There's a great slow playing of Reigns of Castamere when he finds Cersei and Jaime's body, which was Captain Goldhand. And also a nice little slowed version of the main theme when Daenerys takes the Iron Throne at last. It was a nice little bit. I liked it. I'm just pointing that out. My next question is nudity.
Where was it?
In a show synonymous with nudity, just none in this one. So I guess they're all like, it's too important to flash little boob, but no, it's come on.
I thought that'd be like one of their throwbacks, just to have a nip slip at least.
You would assume.
This was a show built on finally putting dicks and boobs on primetime television.
And yet it's all gone. So man,
I think that's how they got like a lot of jockey guys into the show as well. Nah, dude, it's really cool. It's boobs everywhere.
I feel like they couldn't because there's just so much other things going on for the small amount of boob. It takes me back to like watching SBS as a kid when you watch a foreign French film. This is pre-internet porn days. You would like watch a foreign movie because you knew like there would be boobs eventually. Because when it came on, it would be like, the following contains nudity.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, boy. Just hope your parents don't walk in or the reception fucks up.
Yep. One time I saw one where a girl was eating a baguette that was on a dude's dick.
Foreign theatre never change.
Yep.
I just also want to note that, Jon Snow does give Daenerys the old embrace of death. And I do like for a second, you're not too sure who shanked who.
Oh, yeah. You just get the sound effect.
Yeah, and I've also decided that's my new way to die. I would like to be betrayed by a close friend in a tender embrace.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a dead giveaway if you do it now. But
when we wrap the series up, yeah.
I'll just be like, that's so derivative. Oh. And those will be my last words. Sweet.
Totally saw that coming.
Wrote it in season 2.
C-.
All right, my next question. Violence?
Again, like, this was such a barren episode for that sort of shit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of destruction, a lot of rubble, a lot of post-game, a lot of ashes raining from the sky.
And, like, at the end, there was this fucking bitchin'-ass looking wolf who had, like, a half an ear missing, and I'm like, I want to know that wolf story. Wait.
Ghost. Yep. Oh, you can know that wolf story.
It is a ghost, or its name is Ghost?
Its name is Ghost.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and you can know that wolf story if we continue with this.
I just wrote him down as awesome rad wolf. More, please.
Nice. This is the fun thing about this premise is you're going to get more wolves coming back as time goes on.
Sick.
I mean, it's going to be a while and few and far between, but still.
Yeah.
There were 6 originally.
And I remember, like, at least South Park complaining that they're always teasing that the dragons are coming. And yeah, first episode I say, dragons.
Fucking everywhere.
Yeah. And that dragon that was in the snow, was it cold? Maybe, like, fire tummy keeps it warm. I'm not sure.
The physiology of dragons don't really come up too much, but, I mean, technically they're wyverns because they don't have front legs, so that's a technicality. I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
So at the end, Peter Dinklage gets presented with a book called Song of Ice and Fire. So that was like George R.R. Martin's book, right?
Yeah, that's the name of the series, and the first book in the series is called A Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's just the title of the show. But yeah, it's kind of very much that Hobbit, Lord of the Rings thing of having the, well, obviously not the direct show we've just watched being based off the book because, Tyrion's not in it.
Yeah.
But, man, I kind of expected they'd do that.
So, yeah, that was the reference that we're making. Like, he was like, oh, I'm sure I won't object to it. Well, you're not in it, sir. And that's...
Yeah, kind of the suggestion that, yes, this is where the title gets pulled from in universe, I suppose, but not that it's meant to be a direct one-to-one, I suppose. It's a little nod, it's fine.
So Dinklage is Tyrion?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
You remember that, because in Parks and Rec, which I know you've watched a lot of, Ben's eBay handle is Tall Tyrion Lannister.
He so is. That was actually one thing that I thought of when we were watching the show is, holy fuck, this was referenced in both Office and Parks and Rec, shows that I think of as being long gone now. 8
seasons, 10 years.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, because they had that big break a little while ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
All right. Other quick little bits I did also quite like was in that long discussion between Jon and Tyrion, they do have the line of love is more powerful than reason. I like that. Love is the death of duty, and sometimes duty is the death of love. As you know, and then deadly hug.
Yeah,
happens soon after. So I like that as a bit. There's only a bit I didn't notice until later, which he calls Jon the shield that guards the realms of men, which is part of the Oath of the Night's Watch, which is where he goes at the end. And maybe he's been there before.
Okay. When they were doing that massive walking montage.
Oh yeah, a lot of walking, as you said.
Yeah.
Something about fantasy worlds and walking everywhere.
This is the first movie. Little Clerks 2 for you there. Referencing LOTR. Yeah, so that final ending scene, that just bugged me because it was kind of a nice set piece, I thought, with, the 3 different characters walking.
Yeah, I do like Jon's walking through all the wildlings, Sansa's walking through all the, people she's about to lead as Queen of the North, and Arya's just walking on a ship.
All right. Oh, yeah, so that was something that confused me. So Bryce Dallas Howard, Daenerys, she's Queen of the North, so that's a different district than Albran.
Yeah, Sansa is now Queen of the North, which has become an independent state and no longer under what will be Albran's kingdom.
Fucking hell, there's a lot of, I was getting flashbacks to the Phantom Menace in this one, man. Just, the fucking board meeting at the end. Oh, God.
Yeah, well, again, a little subtle thing I kind of picked up on this time is when Tyrion's kind of setting up the table, he puts everything carefully back in order, and then everyone comes in and kind of messes up the chairs. And it's kind of, I take this as a suggestion that, everything's in order for now, but pretty soon people are going to come in and fuck it up.
Yeah.
So there's never peace for long is the moral of the story, kids.
Yeah. Okay. So although it is the final bow, there are still more stories to tell, probably.
Is what I take from it. Maybe I'm searching for symbolism just because my second watch of it, and there's not too much to focus on in this one. Like I said, not a lot of big surprises. There's a tiny bit where they ask where Drogo the dragon has gone, and they say, he's gone to the east, and Allbrand's like, maybe I can find him. Which is maybe a wink and a nod to a fan theory, but who knows? Okay. Maybe. I doubt it because it seems like they'd lean on that a bit harder if they were going to.
Yeah. Well, because that was the other thing. I thought there might even be more of that in setting up because there's rumors of spin-offs and shit like that. So
yeah, but how related the spin-offs are going to be, we don't really know. I don't think you're going to see any of the core cast back.
Yeah. Oh, and Arya. That's Maisie Williams, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she goes, what's west of Westeros? And I wrote in my notes, Westeros.
The Westernist.
Yeah. Yeah, so during that final walking scene, I thought, it was a nice thing with the 3 of them all doing their walks and over the Game of Thrones theme. But then they just fucking start up the theme again after they'd faded it out, and there's even another minute of walking.
Yeah, but it does the very last shot of Jon leaving the wall and that kick when the theme goes from sad version to more of adventurous is, again, I feel like that suggestion of, and this story is just beginning.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that's in a spin-off way. I just mean that in the sense of people's stories don't end when the credits start.
Yeah. Like John Travolta said in Grease, no, Sandy, it's only the beginning. And then they fly away in a car. That's going to be an
literally
adventure.
The same thing.
I keep looking at the Simpsons Index questionnaire thinking I've got to ride this ship.
Nope. You're along the ride now, man.
They're talking about the wackiness of Westeros. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to everyone who was with us. I'm just going to say Sir Davos for the win. That dude is boss. I like him.
Who's Sir Davos?
He's the guy who's just not even sure he's meant to be there. He's like, well, I'm not even sure I get a vote, but I.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the I scene.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to break out into Johnny Kick a Hole in the Sky by Chili Peppers. I. You know that one?
Nope.
It's a really good one.
I'm going to assume they're just taking off this scene.
Testify, kick a hole right in the sky.
Don't know what you're on about.
But in that scene as well, I like how I wrote down Chubby invents democracy. Oh, no, he got shut down harder than Boring Face.
I do like how actually, I kind of like both those bits, especially Boring Face, who's like, I can probably do it, and they just sit down.
Just take a seat, Jerry.
Sit. And then there's a little look from Arya, who's like, really? You thought? No.
Is he like a prominent character at all? Like,
I'd totally forgotten his name.
Oh, fair enough. Not just me then.
Yeah. Like I thought he was dead. Didn't he die in the Red Wedding? I don't know. Yeah, obviously not. No, he was in a dungeon and then he got freed. I guess if that's that guy. I don't know. Yeah.
So Boring Face is boring.
I don't know. You don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, I don't actually think I've actually got that many more notes on the thing.
That's cool. Well, it comes to our last question. How did we get here?
Oh man. Okay, so so there's someone called Cersei that I haven't seen yet, and I also wrote down her name kind of sounds like Seesaw, so I think that might be my nickname for her. So I'm guessing her and Jan Brady were like fighting, and they had their own little like personal tiff, which kicked off this massive war, and Jan Brady won it, I guess.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Can I get even a not far off, or?
I mean, no.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
You get nothing. Yeah, spoilers. I would have hated that. Someone like you won't believe what happens next episode. This will be like, no, you don't.
Yeah, and obviously Tyrion is dealing with his own personal what have we become? Because that was like my problem with the Jon Snow talk, is that it just felt like 10 minutes of what have you become? What have I become?
What have we become?
Yeah.
What will we become next?
On the next installment, yeah.
Yeah, true, but I still think Peter Dinklage lands the hell out of that bit. So,
oh, he's a fucking gifted actor. Like, I mean, that dude just fucking. I want to see him actually do Shakespeare monologues. Like,
I feel like he could sell it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the world is like a little silly, but I think the actors, all of them, really bring it. Except for Chubby Dude, he just looks out of place. He's
kind of meant to, though. That's always kind of been his bit of. Everyone's very gritty and serious, and he's just like, what if we didn't murder each other?
What if we used it to buy things we like? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about his appearance. Like he wandered off of a buddy comedy movie, and it's just, he looks so out of place.
Yeah, it's like he's from The Hobbit or something.
Yeah.
Like he's going to sing a jolly song about flagons of ale.
But yeah, and the only other thing of brutality that I liked was the whole slitting the throat scene. I thought there's some really good tension there. Although for that moment, I wasn't sure that Jon Snow did anything but looked concerned. Like, the actor playing him must have the strongest eyebrows, because that dude has to do so many concerned looks.
Kit Harington, no, he's built that up over the seasons for just eyebrow lifts. A lot of emoting with just eyebrows.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you could deadlift Maisie Williams with those eyebrows.
Yeah, she's got some pretty powerful eyebrows of her own. So,
yeah.
I do think, that's just kind of, when you're in a show where people are going to read into literally everything that happens throughout, was like, well, he lifted his eyebrow 1 inch slightly higher in this scene.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I think that's a clue. You've got to, obviously, that's got to weigh on you in strange ways as an actor.
Yeah, he must be concerned. I wonder why. Anyway.
Heckin' concerned.
So, yeah.
All right. I think that wraps us up. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the penultimate episode, which will be our second episode.
Previously on Thrones of Game.
Futurously on Games of Thrones.
All right.
That's been Thrones of Game, and now our watch has ended.